Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 56. Welcome. What's going on today, everybody? Man, this week has been pretty hectic. But before we get into all that, throw my typical spiel in. Become a supporter on Patreon for as low as $3 a month, or as much as $20 a month. The link for that will be in the description of the video. If you're listening to audio, the link is on all my social medias, or you can go over to the YouTube video and find it there. So, also t-shirts are available. If you're gonna be looking fresh like me, you know who to call. Not the Ghostbusters neither. Um, but yeah, guys, we got some cool stuff to talk about. There's been some crazy stuff that's happened this week. For one, since I am recording this on Sunday, May 8th, today is Mother's Day, for those of you that aren't aware. So you're going to be watching this after Mother's Day, so I just want to shout out a belated Happy Mother's Day to any mothers watching this. If you know any mothers, if you have a mother, make sure that you show them love. And if you didn't on Sunday, make sure that you give them some. Let them know that you care and that you love them and that you're thankful that they're your mother, or at least that there's someone that acts like a mother, has motherly features and emotions, I guess. So shout out to all the moms out there. Nobody'd be here without y'all. So love all the moms. Love them. Yeah, and my mom. I know you're watching this, Mama. Happy Mother's Day. I love you. I do. I love you. But yeah, so Saturday night we had some fights. Some other stuff happened. For one, just run you through through my Saturday. So Saturday I planned on doing my show. Also, I still don't have a car. Yeah, still no car. Cars are ridiculously insane. So I actually went Wednesday to go try to get a car. My mother and we went. And I feel like when I was younger, you could just pull up to a dealership and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for a car." And people would be like, "Oh shit, here we go. I got you hooked. I got you hooked up." No, not now. We went to this. So you know how a lot of dealerships will have, not all dealerships, but there's like chains of dealerships, sort of. Like there'll be say for instance, there's a dealership called a Hugger. There'll be like a Ford Hugger. There'll be a Chevy Hugger, and like a Buick and Chrysler. Blah 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 blah. They'll have multiple dealerships under the same like ownership or whatever. So there's this one that we went to. It's called Parkway, and they have like 4 or 5 different lots. And we go there. We go to their main one. And we're like, "Hey, looking for a car. Don't want to spend 3 arms and 3 legs." And they're like, "Okay. We have 3 total cars. 3 total cars. Now that's not 3 total vehicles. That's just cars. Because I don't really want a SUV or a truck. Call me not a man for not wanting a truck, but trucks are expensive, dude. And they swallow gas like it's their job, which I guess kind of is their job. But, like I said, I'm just not trying to go insanely broke on trying to find a car. So, as of today, still have no car. Sucks a lot. But yeah, so the rest of the week went how it usually does. Saturday I worked in the morning, got off at 1 o'clock. Mind you, I couldn't fall asleep Friday night, so I knew I had to be at work at 6 a.m. And when I work at 6 a.m., I like waking up at like 4. Wake up at 4 gives me some time to be awake, get some caffeine in me, and work up a little chocolate sundae, if you know what I'm saying. a little dookie party. So 10 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, all right, I'm getting in bed. I'm gonna get sleeping. Well, no, that doesn't happen. I sit there and toss and turn for no lie, probably 2 to 3 hours, and I'm finally like, fuck it. I was like, I'm not falling asleep. I'm not tired. I was like, I guess I'm just gonna try to all night it. Just stay up all night and go to work. Well, it hits like 2:15, 2 o'clock, and I'm like the tiredness is starting to hit. So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, so part of me is like, fight it and stay awake. Like, go get a cup of coffee, energy drink, something. Another part of me is like, okay, I could sleep for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that'll be better than nothing. Well, I eventually came to the conclusion that I was just going to stay up. Well, before I knew it, I fell asleep. I woke up about 4:30, so I'm okay. I'm like, all right, we're not late, but I'm still dog tired. You know what I'm saying? But my thing was like, I'm not even gonna try to fall back asleep for another half hour or hour because I know I'm gonna oversleep. So I just decided, all right, we're up for it. So I go upstairs, get some coffee, use the bathroom, brush my teeth, all that stuff. And I come downstairs and start watching TV, and mine like start dozing off and shit. So I gotta like get up and do jumping jacks and stuff, like just random shit to stay awake. And then I go to work and get off at 1 o'clock, like I said, and I planned on when I got off, I was gonna go look for cars, but I had to do some errands. I had to get Mother's Day presents for my sister and my mother, because I hadn't done that yet, so I had to do that. By the time I finally got home, it was like 4 o'clock. And then my sister and my nephews came over, and we were playing, and you know, I didn't come back inside till like 8 o'clock, and then I'm sitting there with my parents in the living room watching TV, and before I know it, I pass out. I wake up Sunday morning at 4 a.m., and I have, you know, no recollection of even falling asleep, and I look around, and I'm like, what the fuck? I fell asleep in the living room. It's dark as hell in there. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Well, I finally come to the conclusion that I fell asleep on the couch. Not with a pillow or anything, just on the hard-ass, like, armrest to the couch. Like, my neck is, like, all fucking twisted up. Not fun. Then I come downstairs, and I watch TV, play Xbox for a couple hours, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll, you know, lay down. Because, I mean, I'm still tired. So I fall asleep and wake up at like 11 o'clock. I was like, man, come on. I don't like starting my day that late. But yeah, falling asleep so early last night. I missed the fights. I didn't get to do the show last night. Excuse me. So that kind of stunk. But we're doing it now, you know. And you guys are watching it now and listening to it. So, yeah, hope you guys had a good week. And I hope you guys have a good week this week. You know, all love and support to you. If you couldn't see, I don't know if my head's blocking it, but we got 2 new things up here on the mantle. Got a little LeBron James right there. Got a little Yzma from Emperor's New Groove. 2 little knickknacks. 2 little knickknacks throw up there. It's cool. It's cool. But with the fights on Friday afternoon, I'm pretty sure it was, they, you know, the main event was Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Excuse my chair. It's really squeaky. I'm sorry. But they have the weigh-ins, and Charles Oliveira is half a pound over. And for being half a pound over, he stripped his title. So the fight means, at least from my understanding, I could be wrong, but the fight means if Justin wins, he's the champion. If Charles wins, he's the number 1 contender for the championship. So that means he'll probably fight somebody else next for like the interim championship, or I don't know. I really don't know. Or they'll have a interim championship match soon, and then he'll be the next to fight them. I don't know. Something like that. Also, Bang Energy sponsored. Not really. I wish. But sure enough, Charles Oliveira, however you say his name, he goes out and he chokes Gaethje out and wins. So, no, you don't get your title. You don't get to defend. You know, that was just like a little fun fight for you. That's stupid, man. And then I think I saw somewhere where people think that the guy who was running the scale was running it like a half pound over the whole time. So, it wasn't even his fault. It was a stupid weight guy. Fucking idiot. Then there was another big fight. Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. Like I said, I wish I would have got to see all these, but I passed out, man. I was knocked out. No coming back. But Michael Chandler knocked out Tony Ferguson, like put him to bed. So rest in peace, Tony Ferguson. There's some other stuff, the USFL stuff. Man, that's one thing that I'm kind of worried for them. I don't think that's gonna, I was thinking when it first started, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a little something that is gonna grow from here. I don't know if they'll have another season for real. It is so hard to watch. Like I said a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, you don't have any of those playmakers. You don't have any of those big playmakers. And you don't have to have a big name to be a big playmaker. But like, excuse me. But just the people that play in that, excuse me again. There are some people that are like decent, but there's nobody that can change an entire game. There's no game changers. Bars. And that kind of sucks. It makes it hard to watch. Like I said, the quarterbacks miss wide open throws. Receivers drop wide open balls. I think it's mostly the quarterback play. I think that's the biggest part of it. Is a quarterback will just whiff on a wide open throw, or underthrow it, or overthrow it, or anything. It's just, come on, man. Like, I know that this is like a few steps below professional football, but like, you still gotta, it's not like you're doing this for fun. This is your job. I mean, who am I? Excuse me again. I've never been a quarterback, and I've certainly never played semi-pro football, so I don't really have any room to judge or to critique other people's play. But I watch a lot of football, and I see how a lot of people play, and I just feel like it's not up to par. But again, who the hell am I? But yeah, there was some of that. There was also some Antonio Brown went on some podcast or some show. I don't know what it was. And they asked him about Colin Kaepernick. And I mean, I'm not someone that has been directly inflicted by the entire thing of what Colin Kaepernick stands for and everything like that. I stand with him, and I support what people who support him believe in, by all means. But of all the people to not stand with him, you would think Antonio Brown wouldn't be one of those guys. And I don't think it's so much that he doesn't stand for what Colin Kaepernick's I think he believes in the same message that Colin Kaepernick does, but I think the question that's brought up is something like, Colin Kaepernick, he wants to get back in the league. What's up with that? And Antonio Brown's like, no, he doesn't. He's made his money. He's doing good for himself, all this and that, which, I mean, is true. And I mean, I can't, who am I to tell someone their opinion's wrong, when I really don't know. Only person that really does know is Colin Kaepernick. But I think he definitely wants a shot in the NFL, back another shot, But one thing he said was he wasn't good. And that is sort of a fact. Colin Kaepernick was benched before he started taking knees. And that's just a fact. That is a fact. It's not like he was benched. It'd be a different story if he started taking the knees and then they're like, okay, you're not playing because you're doing this. Then it'd be like, okay, I understand that. But that's not what it was. Now, do I think he's still better than a handful of starting quarterbacks in the league right now? Yes, I do think that. I think that he would start and be better than a handful of dudes. But like I said, he's not. If he was back in the league, he wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes. He wouldn't be Tom Brady. He wouldn't be Aaron Rodgers. He might be on the same level as someone like I don't even want to say Kirk Cousins. Like, he'd probably be on the same level as like a Jared Goff. You know what I mean? Jared Goff, good quarterback. But in comparison to some of those better guys, he's in a completely different league. You know what I mean? So I mean, if one day comes, in the next couple of years where some team's like, what, I do want to bring Colin back into the NFL. I hope it does happen. But yeah, Antonio Brown, he was just talking so much shit, and I don't know if Colin Kaepernick ever said anything back about it. which he didn't have to. I feel like Antonio Brown, he's he is, his brain is it's probably a little extra squishy. You know what I mean? Like the something's not right upstairs. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's okay. I was talking to somebody the other day about Antonio Brown, and they're like, man, he wasn't even that good. Man, if you ask me, and I have some bias because I'm a Steelers fan and I watched him for most of his entire career, I think Antonio Brown's one of the greatest receivers to ever play football. Honestly, I'm not saying he's the best, but in comparison to some other guys that a lot of people look at as the greatest, like for instance, back in like Antonio Brown's prime, people would argue that Julio Jones was better than him. Now, granted, Julio and Antonio Brown were kind of peaking at the same time, so it was a great conversation, great argument. But for sure, Antonio Brown, I think a huge factor that plays into his greatness is how small he was. Dude's like 5'10", and he was going up and catching insane balls and having 3 touchdown games, 200 yards. Now, sure, he was the number one receiver. Big Ben counted on him for everything. But regardless, I mean, you could have a high school dude go out and jump on the field. And if he's the main dude getting targets and he's getting catches, you're going to look at him like he's really good. But it's more than that. That high school dude's not going to be catching all the same balls that Antonio Brown does. They called him Tony Toe Tap for a reason. They called him that. I did. I don't know if everybody did. I called him that because he called himself that one time. So I was like, yeah, it's Tony Toe Tap. Incredible catches. But I think he is one of the greatest, And I know one guy that a lot of people call one of the greatest is Calvin Johnson. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Calvin Johnson is not one of the greatest receivers of all time. But Antonio Brown had a longer career, for one. For two, the size is what makes the biggest difference in my mind. If Calvin Johnson was like 6 inches shorter, I don't know how tall he was. He was probably like 6'6", 6'7", something like that. If he was like 6 foot, 5'11", and he was still doing the stuff he was doing, which I think he could have if he was that small, but then it's no question. But for Antonio Brown to be at such a disadvantage in the size department and still be able to be as great as he was, I mean, I think you gotta say something about that. That's just my personal opinion. If you don't believe that, I don't really care. You don't gotta side with me. You don't have to, but that's my opinion. Now, I don't think he's better than Jerry Rice or some of the other Steelers legendary receivers, John Stallworth and Lynn Swann. I don't think that. But in terms of, he's probably like a top 10, top 15 receiver of all time. Period. If you got something to say about it, tell me in the comments. Tell me what your opinion is. Drop your 15 best receivers. And I'll tell you if you're wrong or not. Flat out. I mean, in the league today, people in their prime right now, Davante Adams is not a better receiver than Antonio Brown has been in his career. If you compare the careers, I know Davante Adams is still pretty young. He's still got a decent amount of time to play football, if he wants to, and if, God willing. But as of today in Davante Adams' career compared to the entirety of Antonio Brown's career, I don't even think it's close, personally. Again, you can disagree. You can think I'm an idiot. Whatever. I don't care. You also got to think, is Aaron Rodgers better than Ben Roethlisberger? I think probably. Through all stages of the career, honestly. So, you could even play in the factor that Davante Adams had a better guy throwing him the ball all the time. And he was in the same boat as Antonio Brown was too. Davante Adams was the only dude that was getting thrown to, just like Antonio Brown. Aaron Rodgers didn't have another guy to throw the ball if he wanted to. He did, and I'm not saying that, he would only throw the ball to Davante Adams, obviously, but, his number one guy was always Davante Adams, period. I don't think Big Ben was always like that, though. Big Ben made a lot of receivers look like superstars. I sound like I'm talking out my ass right now because I'm a Steelers fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll move on. There's not, this whole thing has been going on for weeks now. This whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, and it's not been something I've been keeping up a lot on. But scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, not Facebook. I don't get on Facebook. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. You see the clips and stuff. And when I first heard about it, because the only thing I heard about it was, Johnny Depp is like being accused of domestic violence. That was like the only thing I heard. I didn't even know it was like a defamation trial. I didn't know that's what it was about. But at first I was like, yeah, I can see it. I got a thing where, I heard somebody say one time that they've come to the realization that if Hitler could do all the bad shit he did, that every other person on this planet is capable of doing just as bad things. Now, I'm not comparing, domestic abuse to Hitler's, reign of terror, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to sit there and look at somebody, especially someone that I don't know, and be like, nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. That's one thing that I learned, I picked up pretty well on when Jeffrey Epstein stuff was going out. They said Tom Hanks was going out there. Tom Hanks is one guy I always looked at as like, there's probably some evil people out there in Hollywood, but I'm like, Tom Hanks, come on. And then I saw he was on that like flight list as someone that was going out to that island, and I'm like, on second thought, I know nothing about Tom Hanks. He might paint himself as a good guy, but I don't know what he does on his weekends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he's up to. So, at first I was like, okay, yeah, I could see Johnny Depp potentially being abusive. And then as I wouldn't even say I fell in the rabbit hole, because like I said, it was just an occasional like peek into the rabbit hole, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, Amber Heard, she is fruity, man. She's not doing well. Now, do not take that as me trying to defend her in any way. No. I'm somebody that, even if you are messed up in the brain and you do some bad shit, you still deserve to do time. There ain't no, if I'm a judge, the insanity plea, nope. I don't care. You still did it. I'm not granting you pardon or giving you special treatment because your brain's messed up. That's not on me. That's on whoever is supposed to be looking at you, whoever's supposed to be taking care of you, or it's on you, You should have been taking your meds or something, dude. Like, you're acting up. But, I think something came out where they said, like, Amber Heard's bipolar and she's got some other stuff. And I'm like, dude, no. This lady shit on his bed. If you are a full-grown adult and you purposefully shit anywhere that's not the toilet, unless you are in the woods and you don't have a choice, you deserve to go to fucking prison, okay? Period, flat out. Especially on your spouse's bed. That's a sin. That is a giant sin. Don't shit on someone's bed. If I'm Johnny Depp, obviously I got all that money, and she shits on my bed, I'm never touching that bed again. I'm hiring somebody to come get that fucking bed out of my house, and I'm gonna go buy somewhere else to live, and I'm gonna live there. You live by yourself, you don't ever have to worry about someone coming in and shitting on your bed. You're not a dog, you're not a baby. Quit shitting on beds, Amber Heard. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And I heard some other stuff, she'd be hitting them, and she'd be, doing all this other shit, trying to make him look bad. And, they got him in court, and he's just like he's kind of baffled at the fact that, like, everybody's still, like, on this shit. Like, he's like, are we serious right now? Like, we're still doing this? He's like, is it not obvious enough that I'm the innocent one here? And, man, she really fucked him. She really fucked him up. I think he still only has, like, one, like, partnership or, like, sponsor or whatever, and it's Christian Dior, I think. I could be wrong. But there's only, like, one that's still rocking with him. He obviously ain't been getting no jobs, no acting gigs. And I understand that, regardless if he's telling the truth or not. You don't, as a producer, as a, company, you really don't want to have that hanging over you. That's just something that, say say it takes a left turn, takes a bad turn, and comes out that he actually is this bad person, and you've been out here supporting him all this time, you're gonna get some bad press, a lot of bad press. But like I said, I don't want to, it's always a bad thing to try and negate, or I don't know if that's the right word, to belittle or to not believe someone's their experience, whether it's abuse or whether it's this or that or whatever. You never want to be the person that's like, you're a liar, because you really don't know. All of us that's, sitting on the outside looking in at the whole situation, we don't know. The only people that really know is Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. They only know the truth. But just everything that I've seen, I would be willing to say that the Amber Heard is a piece of shit on a bed, and Johnny Depp is he's the good guy, man. For whatever reason, dude put up with it for way too long, and apparently Amber Heard's just a bad person altogether. I seen today like they had her personal assistant, testifying or something. I don't know what she was doing there, but she was like, I did all this shit for Amber, and they're like, so how much did you make? And she's like, not fucking enough. And they're like, oh, so what, like $1,500 a week? She's like, I fucking wish. She's like, I made $20 an hour, which is decent money. If I was making $20 an hour, I'd be pretty happy about it. But you probably got to pick that shit up off the bed. I'm not doing that for $20 an hour. Fuck no. But then eventually she had her on for $50,000 a year. That's definitely livable for sure. But I feel like if you're employed by a very famous, successful actress such as Amber Heard, you would think you'd be making a lot more money than that. And maybe that's just because the precedent is set there, but excuse me, I keep having to clear my throat. But I would definitely think that she would be paying more, because she went through and listed like all the different shit that Amber would have her do. And like, it's a lot of stuff, man. Like, she set up travel, she set up appointments, everything. Pretty much Amber Heard wouldn't know what the hell to do without this lady. And she just treated her like shit. Apparently she would be like kind of verbally abusive to her sometimes, all that kind of crap. So that's not cool. But there's probably more stuff that's going to come out, in favor of whoever, I don't know. And I'm not really, like I said, I'm not super invested in it. I'm not a big Johnny Depp fan. I don't got anything against the guy, but I'm not somebody that's going to be like, oh, Johnny Depp, I love you. I don't really care about Johnny Depp like that. But I guess you could say I'm kind of a fan, although I've really only watched like 2 of his movies ever. But that's neither here nor there. Whatever. We all know him. He seems like a guy that you would want to like. And Amber Heard, I don't know if anybody used to like her, but man, you got to think, this whole shit is bad for her all around. Like, for one, she's probably never going to get another job. Like, she might be working at like Starbucks. She might get Starbucks gig in like Fresno or something. I don't know. She might get on part-time. But she's definitely never going to have another mate, another partner. If you were, I don't care, man. And she's a pretty lady, and she's a successful lady. I would not, dude. If she came to my door right now and said, let's be together, I would say no. Absolutely not. You're not shitting on my bed. You're not going to do it. And just for that reason only. You could beat the shit out of me all you want. But the day that you shit on my bed, there's a very, very fine line. And once that's the shit on the bed line. Once you pass that line, nope. If you shit on my bed, Johnny Depp's a stronger man than I would have been. If you shit on my bed, man, I'm not going to just be like, why are you doing that? No. I think it's bad to say, but I don't, I'll just leave it at that. I would not have just kept it verbal. I'll say that, man. You don't shit on somebody's bed. That's fucked up. Another thing I wanted to say, hopefully this didn't just delete all my audio right here. Oh, it didn't. Sorry. Okay, hold on. I had a little mishap on the computer side. I meant to say this when I was talking about the fights, but after Charles Oliveira wins and after Michael Chandler wins, they're out there and they're like, "We want McGregor. We want McGregor. McGregor." I seen a picture of McGregor today. That dude's fucking huge. Like, he is jacked. I wouldn't fight McGregor. I wouldn't have fought him when he was skinnier. I mean, I wouldn't fight him ever. But now you want to fight him? Nope. They're probably. I mean, I think there was a quote where it was like, by Conor, where he was something like, you know, you either want to be me or you want to fight me or something like that. I don't know. Something like, I'm the end all be all of the UFC, and you'll never be me unless, you'll just never be me. Conor McGregor could go out and lose the next 5 fights, and he would probably still pull millions and millions of dollars. If you can hear the dogs running upstairs, sorry. I don't know who they think they are. But also saw this on Twitter today that apparently Kendrick Lamar's new album was leaked on Spotify. Not leaked in the way of you've got to hear his music, but they leaked like the title of it and stuff. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Which, that's crazy, man. How do you fuck that up? For Kendrick Lamar not to have an album for the past, man, how long was it? It's been every bit of 5 years. Probably, yeah, probably 5 years. Maybe not that long. It's been a while. His last one was what, Damn? And I was still in high school with that. So it's been every bit of 3 to 4 years. So the new one is called The Heart Part 5, and I guess on Spotify it leaked. It says Kendrick is back. Stream The Heart Part 5 on This Is Kendrick Lamar. So now I guess we all know it's coming. People think it's going to be coming out on Tuesday. That's so shitty, man. He was probably trying to drop that so subtly, and everybody's going to love it, and they're going to eat it up. People are still going to love it and eat it up, but it just takes away some of the cool takes away from the cool factor. But I'm hyped for it. There's another album that dropped this past week, Jack Harlow. I have not listened to it yet. Maybe I'll listen to it today. Who knows? I would like to listen to it because I like Jack Harlow. He's a cool guy. He's a cool fellow. He's got a lot of game, man. He could probably pull any chick. You see a guy like that, you're just like, man, wish I was wearing your shoes right now. Wish I could just walk up to a girl. Like Jack Harlow walks up to any chick and says, hi. And they're like, oh my gosh, melt. I walk up to a girl and say hi. They're like, get the fuck away from me. Why are you this close to me? Double standards, Maybe if I had a curly fro. Who knows? Also saw this new law passed. Now, it wasn't from a reputable source, so it might not be true. But this law is apparently in Tennessee, where if you are a drunk driver and you get in an accident and you kill a parent of a child, so say you're drunk driving and you fucking T-bone some mother, and her 3 kids are at home, and you just killed their mom. Apparently, you are what's the word? You are, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. You have to pay child support on those kids. So I think that's a great way to crack down on drunk driving. If you make that law, if it's out there and it's well known. I'm not drunk driving. I've never drunk drove anyway, but in that situation, you're definitely not going to do it. Because you know that if you take a parent's life, you're going to be paying. Say you kill a mother of 10 kids. Say you kill Kate from John and Kate Plus 8. You don't have that money. You do not have enough money to pay for that. And all you had to do is just not drive drunk. So I think that's a great law. I think every state, every country, every continent should implement that. That's awesome. If you're going to take the life of a mother or a father from their children, then you're going to pay for it. You're not just going to go do some time in jail, because no time in jail is going to repay the lack of life that or the loss of life that you have caused. So I think that's awesome. If it's true, again, like I said, it wasn't from a reputable source, but if it is true, that's chef's kiss, as they say. That is a genius law. One of the best laws they passed in law. Way better than the one they passed where they said in Ohio, they said, hey, if you can buy a gun, you can carry it around wherever. That is a stupid law. I will say that. That is bad law. You're telling me anyone can just carry a gun wherever they want? You're asking for trouble. And there are some people that take that law and they're like, okay, awesome. I can go and, I've always wanted to have my concealed carry. No, I don't have to have a license for it. I can just do it. And, because there's some people that don't have ill will. And there's, and I'm not saying everybody that's going to participate, are going to have bad intentions. But the fact that it don't matter. The fact that if you have a gun, you can just run it, you can carry it wherever you want. That's terrible. That's not a good law. Out of all the problems we have in the world, and I think it's just an Ohio law, but okay, just say with all the problems we have in Ohio, that's what you pass? That's what you're like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Should have passed the drunk driving one. Should have legalized marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana, but what do I feel better about? A random dude that could have a lot of pent-up anger carrying a gun wherever he wants, or a lazy stoner just go buy weed at 7-Eleven, go home and get fried and fall asleep? In a safety standpoint, I'm taking choice B there for sure. But this entire country is ran by a bunch of old white people that have no idea what's going on. They just want to rule the world, and they're stupid. So if I come up missing, man, just know it wasn't me. Somebody come out and got me after I've just made that statement. I'm not going to retract it neither. You need to hear this. Whatever, yo. But I think that was an awesome law, Tennessee. And again, I hope it's true, because if it is, that is bravo, Tennessee, cracking down on real problems. Excellent. Let's see. So the job front, we talked about this the past couple weeks. The job front is expanding. The main job that I was hoping to get, still haven't heard anything from. That doesn't mean that it's a lost cause, but as of right now, I haven't heard anything. But as of right now, a job is in the works. That's all I'll say. I don't know, what I can and can't say, so I don't want to get on here and say some shit that has me lose a job before I even get it. So, and I did put my notice in my work. I've been there for 3 years, and man, that was the first notice I ever had to put in. And I gotta say, that was hard, dude. Because I feel like a lot of jobs, if you work at like a franchise place, you work at, a chain place, or I feel like a lot of jobs are not like the job that I had for the past 3 years. The place I worked, it was more than just a place to work. It felt like a home. Everyone I worked with felt like brothers or sisters or aunts or uncles. Everybody felt like family. And for me to put my 2 weeks notice in, I felt so terrible. Especially, kind of shorthanded. So I felt bad. I felt so bad. But the thing was is I looked at myself and I said, I'm not going to sit here and keep doing this for everybody else. It's time to do something for me. You know what I mean? And, I feel like I've been playing as a kid for a long time. It's time to put them big boy pants on and start wearing them, break them in. So if anyone that is watching or listening from my old job, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity that you guys gave me 3 years ago. I'm forever indebted, forever grateful. Um, and yeah, just thank you. You know, that's all I can say. But moving on, um, I started thinking about this the other night, man. So where I live, there's some people that I live in a town where you can have golf carts. You can drive golf carts like on the road and shit. Just get one of them. Sorry, get one of those triangle things and throw on the back of your golf cart, and you can just take that bitch to the grocery store, the gas station, wherever. You can just cruise that bitch around. Hop on the interstate, whatever. I don't think you can do that. Be cool though. But where I used to live, we used to have a golf cart, and man, there's some great memories on golf carts. If you have ever had a golf cart or known someone with a golf cart, chances are you got some funny ass stories, some fun times on a golf cart. Like for instance, man, I don't know why I'm blanking. There was this one time I picked up this one friend of mine that lived nearby on the golf cart, and there was this like little like gravel parking lot spot, and that's where you would go like if you wanted to whip some shitties. You want to pop some wheelies, just do some stupid stuff in there. That's where you'd go. So he's on the golf cart with me, and we get in there, and I start whipping this son of a bitch. Back and forth, donuts. And I whip this thing too hard to the right. I whip it so hard, it launches me off my own golf cart. And I just eat gravel. I'm like, oh, fuck. My friend that's on the golf cart with me laughs and then gets in the driver's seat and drives away. So he drives up. I mean, he didn't ditch me and steal my golf cart or anything. But he drove away to like where there was other people. And like you would think like he would go over there to be like, oh, help. Oh, he's hurt. No, he drives over there to like tell them the story and like laugh at me. And like I get up and I walk over there. I'm like, dude, why the fuck did you just steal a golf cart and leave me there? And he's like, oh, he's like telling other people, he's like, yeah, this idiot just launched himself off his own golf cart. Man, I dropped that motherfucker off and never, ever associated myself with him ever again. It's like, man, you're an asshole. You just laugh at me, man. But that's another thing. I sit here and I'm mad about that. But there was this one story, a couple weeks ago, I talked about my friend Chase. So he was another guy that I used to frequent the golf cart on. So this one day, we used to have this like shitty golf cart. We had like probably 4 or 5 altogether, but we used to have this really, really shitty one. It only had like 2 front seats, and then the back was just like if you can get on there, you can ride. Well, this one day in particular, we decided to have like 5 or 6 people on our golf cart. It was like me, my sister, and then like 3. I think it was 5 people. So it was like my sister, my friend Noah was sitting up front, and then the back was me, Chase, and my friend Nick on the back. Well, Chase, he was always super like particular. Like he would really never ride with anybody else, and if he did, he wanted to drive. Because he had his own golf cart and he was like the chauffeur. Like he wanted to drive all the time. But we convinced him like, dude, you're not driving my golf cart. If you're coming, get on. If you're not, then, go somewhere else. Well, he's finally like, okay, fine. Well, he gets on the back, and there used to be this, like, on this same space where I get whipped off the fucking golf cart, there was this, like, at the entrance, there was this, like, exposed pipe. Like, it wasn't, like, dangerous or anything. I mean, I guess it was kind of dangerous, but when you would run over it, it was like a big bump. So we hit this bump, and Chase gets launched off the back of the fucking golf cart. Dude splatters all over the gravel. And we're all laughing. We are. I mean, but we don't drive away on them. We're like, oh, I think the proper response is to see if they're okay first and then laugh. We chuckled a little bit, but when we went to see if he was okay, we weren't laughing at him. We're like, oh, you okay, man? And he's crying. He was hurting, man. He probably broke his glasses or something. We're like, okay, man, you want to drive? And he's like, yeah, let me drive. So it was kind of like one of those things where like your older sibling would punch you hard as hell and you'd start crying. They're like, no, hit me back, make it even, So he made it even, and that was a really funny one. Man, I've rolled a golf cart one time. Tucker, Tucker that's been on the show. He used to have a golf cart. We used to like riding in just like random people's yards. I think it was like his grandma's yard or something. That's at least what he told me. He could have just been telling me that so I wouldn't have been scared to ride on somebody's property. Um, but like it was this hill, and it wasn't like a steep hill, but there was like it'd be like a landing up, landing up. It was kind of like a wave hill. Um, we start going on there. You're like hitting your head off the fucking roof of the golf cart, and then yeah, I'm pretty sure we hit a turn and then rolled the son of a bitch, man. We're like, oh, you okay? I'm like, I think so. We're like, okay, good. Just roll this bitch over so I don't get in trouble. So like, okay. You're sitting there fucking just broke your collarbone. You're like, okay, yeah, we wouldn't want to get in trouble. So just pretend it didn't happen. I'll sacrifice my body so you don't get in trouble. Um, but dude, I grew up on those things, man. I used to be so mad. If you have an older sibling, there's always stuff that they can do that you're not allowed to do, and it'll just piss you off. Like for instance, my sister. So, since I was like 5 years old, or 5 or 6, we always had a golf cart. Now, when I'm 5 and 6, I'm not expecting to be able to drive a golf cart. Oh, I fell off a couple golf carts. Just throw that in there. But anyway, we always had one, and my sister's always been 4 years older than me. So when I was 5, she was 9, and I think she was 10. I think she's usually 5 years older than me, actually. Whatever, 4 to 5 years older than me, depends what time of year. Yeah, like now I think she's 5 years older than me now. From November to March, it's 4. Whatever. That literally makes no difference in this story. But when she hit like 11 or 12, I would have been like 7, 8, whatever. I don't know how to do math. Yeah, something like that. So I was always jealous. I was like, man, I want to drive a golf cart. I want to drive. My parents were like, no, you're not driving a fucking golf cart. So I'd always get pissed, and and not even my sister. Like, sometimes they'd be like, okay, don't tell mom, but you can drive. Nah, she was like, the fucking rules. You're not driving this thing. So I never got to drive it. But man, when I hit like, my parents told me that like when you turn 12, or maybe it was 11, whatever, like when you turn that age, you're good. You can drive by yourself. I think they would let me drive it like with them. But they're like, okay, when you get that age, you can drive by yourself. Definitely wasn't legal. But it was like a little gated community, so nobody was gonna say shit. But once I got older, driving a golf cart was like nothing. But once I hit like 16, 17, 18, I was kind of like a seasoned vet on the golf cart. And I look at some other kids that are in the area, and they're driving golf carts. Man, there's like 5-year-olds driving golf carts. Dudes can't even sit on the fucking seat and touch the pedals. Like, these dudes are like standing up on one leg, pressing the gas pedal with the other one, and like looking through the hole on the steering wheel. What the fuck is this? Not safe. There's people that are 30 years old that can't drive a fucking car. You think a 5-year-old can drive a small car? No, they can't. They're driving in the middle of the road. You're going to pass them. You're like, should I stop? Should I pull over? What's going on? I don't know if I definitely don't trust this kid to not fucking hit me. And they would hit you. I think one time someone hit my dog with like a kid hit my dog one time. It's like, revoke this dude's driver's license. Take this dude's gas pedals away. Get him off the streets. He's a menace. Oh man, the golf carts used to be so much fun, dude. Some stupid shit. We'd go take him up in the woods. Dude, if you took that thing up in the woods, you had, as soon as you got out, you had to get in there sneakily. You couldn't risk anybody watching you drive into the woods with your golf cart. For one. For two, you could do whatever you want up there, but you just better not fucking get stuck. Because if you get stuck, and if you do get stuck, it better not be too stuck, because you're going to have to be able to get it out yourself. And then once you get out of the woods, you got to have a friend that's got a hose that isn't close to your house, so you can go over there, get that bitch clean before you take it home. Because if you got home and that thing even had like a bit of dirt on it, parents would be like, did you take this thing in the woods? No, No, there's a puddle. It's like, it hasn't rained in 6 months. What do you mean? Uh, yeah. Nope, not me. Yeah, you'd get your ass whooped for driving that thing in the woods. But that was fun, dude. Taking that thing in the woods, man. You hit a puddle. It wouldn't even be a puddle, man. It'd be like a mud pit. You splash in that thing. Man, golf carts used to be so much fun. They still are. Any vehicle that's not a car that you can drive recreationally, that's fun. That is a lot of fun. Like I said, I've done some stupid shit on a golf cart. Real stupid shit. One time when I was very young. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. Obviously, I wasn't able to drive at that point. And I think I was like sitting on the back and I was like looking over the side to like look at the wheel. My dumbass just whoop, flipped right off of it, right onto the ground of a moving vehicle. I don't even think they noticed right away. Like, they got like halfway down the road and they're like, oh shit, Josh fell off. And I'm like, wah, crying back there. There's like random people that are living nearby. They're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm like, nah, man. Nah, you guys are probably gonna have to put me down. That was a deadly fall right there. Oh man. Those were the days though. Those were the days. I wish I still had one. Cause like I said, those are so much fun. It's like a step down from like a Razor, like a UTV. I mean, I could go on for hours about different golf cart stories. Like, let's see, one time I was driving my golf cart, and there used to be like, I don't know if community dumpsters is the right way to say it, but like there was like 4 dumpsters where everybody that lived there, if you had trash, you drove them to the dumpsters, throw your trash in there, blah, 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 done. Well, this one day, but it's like, hey, go take trash out on golf cart. I'm like, okay, simple. Well, there was like a pizza box that had been sitting on the porch for a couple days. And he was like, make sure you fucking take it this time. So I'm like, okay. Well, I get the bag of trash and I get the pizza box and I throw it up in the dumpster and I start going on a little ride, a little joy ride. And I'm driving and I look down where the trash was and there was ants that had been from the pizza box or from something. There's ants there and I'm like trying to sweep them off. Driving, trying to sweep them off with my foot. Well, before I know it, I look up and there used to be this like concrete embankment. It wasn't like an embankment. It was kind of like someone's driveway, but there was like a pipe going through it so like water could travel through it or whatever. And I smashed the golf cart into that fucking thing. And I was like, oh man. So I like ate the steering wheel. It hurt. I hit that thing probably going 15 miles an hour, so it hurt. Well, I'm like, So I back that shit up and I just take off. Well, I noticed that like the golf cart's like kind of pulling a certain way, and I'm like, oh no. Well, I go to one of our neighbor's house and I'm like, hey, is everything all right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I think you might have fucked the frame up a little bit, but everything else is fine. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I take it home and don't tell nobody. Well, a couple days later go by and my dad's like, so what'd you do to the golf cart? I'm like, what? I didn't do nothing. Well, apparently there was a guy that was nearby when it happened, and he saw it, and he tells my dad that I rolled it. And I'm like, what? I was like, I did not roll it. I was like, you think if I rolled it, I would have had enough strength to roll it back over and then keep driving? Like, no, I would have been hurt. The golf cart would have been a lot more fucked up than it is. That did not happen. I was like, okay, I'll come clean. Like, just because if I rolled it, I'm probably in for way more trouble than if I just crashed it into concrete, into a wall practically. So I'm like, no, this is what happened. Like, you gotta be fucking careful. And then they got mad because they eventually realized that the steering wheel would pull since I smashed it. But, all's fair in love and war, as they say. Oh, babies. Yeah, that's right. This has been episode 56. I want to thank you guys for being here. Again, wish your mom, your sister, your aunt, anyone who is a mother in your life or isn't even a mother in your life. You're at the store, you see somebody that's carrying around 2 kids. Walk up, say Happy Mother's Day. But just wish all the mothers that that are in your life a Happy Mother's Day. Patreon in the description below. Again, if you're listening, go to the YouTube video, find it there, or go to my social media platforms and they're on there as well. T-shirts still available. We talk about this all the time. So with that being said, everybody, I love you. I love your mom. Have a great week. Peace out, yo.